dear families. I'm Emmylou Penrod, your family relationship coach. And in this show, we focus on 6 areas of health for families: emotional, financial, mental, physical, social, and spiritual. And this month, we've been focusing on our physical health and well-being. So I'm excited to have as my guest another show host, Nancy White, the Healthy Cells Chick. Nancy, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Emmylou. I am so grateful to be here with you, and thank you so much for what you're doing for healthy families.
Well, all areas, the areas kind of overlap. Our emotions can impact our physical health, and mental and definitely spiritual is important. But when we talk about physical health, we tend to think of exercise and diet, and we don't often think about ourselves. Think ourselves. What? Tell us how you became the Healthy Cells Chick.
Well, Emmylou, again, it's just, experiences. One of the things we all have gone through. And so I really think my mind started really focusing on healthy cells after the premature deaths of my father and my brother. So my father died of Hodgkin's, and my oldest brother, John, was studying to be a doctor. He was in the Navy and discovered his own leukemia and lived 2 years longer. So after their premature deaths, my mind started wondering about, being more preventative and proactive. And my mom was a great influence, Emily. She lived to be 96 before she moved home to be with the Lord. And we were using some natural things growing up that I just thought everybody did. But anyway, so I became a researcher and investigator, and also a student of always learning more about our healthy cells, because healthy cells create healthy glands, healthy organs, and healthy bodies. And our bodies regenerate every 6 to 8 years. So you might as well make a new good one. And so I know that, especially for people that have had some health challenges, cancer thrivers, and some other people, we want to give them hope. And there's certain things that we can do. Everything we were talking about affects, our mind, our body, and our spirit, even those cells. When we talk about happy, healthy cells, yes, we can do those things to sow into those happy, healthy cells. But I've that was the beginning, Emmylou, really pretty much. And oh my gosh, I was 9. I'm 71, so that was, several decades ago when all that came about in my life.
That would have a huge impact. I've
Mhm.
heard the saying that a concerned mother does more research than the FBI, but I think it applies to anyone, a family member, a concerned family member. And as a family member, you wanted to learn more.
Yep, absolutely. And I'm never going to stop learning either, Emily, because, you know, in this country especially, um, pharmaceuticals have a place, but, they have got a big toehold on a lot of people. And people don't think about long-term effects of certain things that they're doing, because, that reaping and sowing, it works. It's just a part of the world and part of, where we live. Everything that we're doing is either going to be building us up or tearing us down. We can't just be in a vacuum and have no effect. And so I think that for people's mindset, I tell people it always starts in this amazing computer between our ears. And and then we get into our heart, and then we take action. And it's the same with us on our physical health, our mental health, and, our spiritual health, all those things. But, you know, we can talk about, oh, I need to exercise. Well, you need to schedule it and you need to do it. You need to take action. Oh, I want to, get healthier or whatever. Well, today's the day. Today's the brand new day, the brand new beginning. Everything that crosses our lips becomes part of us within 36 to 48 hours. So, again, what do you want your new body to become? And everything fuels our cells. And those cells are always completely regenerating. And there's a lot of things that, we can do to make those good, better, best choices on, keeping our pH alkaline, getting the sleep, getting all those things that we need for those happy, healthy cells.
Talk a little bit about that pH alkaline, that balance.
Mm.
It's when I don't think we consider that different foods have, some are more acidic, some are more alkaline. And our water, we ought to be aware of not only the quality of the water, but the pH level.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit about what you've learned from there.
And even including the inflammatory, because anti-inflammatory things we are doing for our bodies are really huge. Because I was talking to a heart surgeon years ago, and he'd done over 1,500 open heart surgeries, Emmylou, and he said one thing that was in common with every single heart surgery, it looked like somebody had taken a brush and just scraped the insides of the artery. They were flaming red. He said it wasn't so much the cholesterol, he said it was the inflammation. The inflammation is what the cholesterol was being attached to the inside of the arteries. So inflammation is another part of it too. But there's some simple things for you were talking about alkalinity. You can get the little pH strips, and you can get it, Walmart, whatever place where they test water, like your water, for alkalinity or acidic. It's not the blood alkaline strips, but you can test your saliva and you can test your urine. And as long as you are staying 7 to 7.5 in that range, in the alkaline range, then that gives you more peace of mind that cancer can't thrive, degenerative diseases cannot thrive. But again, everything can throw that off. The foods you're talking about, I love sending my cancer thrivers a list of alkaline versus acidic foods just so they'll know how to make those choices. Doesn't mean you can only eat just this or drink just that, but you want to find out those ways to reset your pH. And you can reset your pH every single morning and at nighttime, or if you just want to just test it, whenever, to keep track of it. Again, you want to know your body for your self-care. That's part of your self-care practice.
So when they talk about pH balance, I know you read it, your shampoo needs to be pH balanced. It's that 7 to 7.5. So you don't want a high alkaline, either extreme, right?
Correct. That's this. You want that middle of the road. Just, just if you are extreme one way or the other, then you can work on ways to pull it back towards that middle of the road.
All right. So that's what, and I remember in school using pH strips, but I never thought of it. Just test your saliva, just test your urine, and just making sure you're balanced. Now, if you see it's getting more acidic, what would you do?
Well, a lot of people will do like a little bit of apple cider vinegar. They'll do a little bit of lemon. They'll do some different things. Personally, I've been using a product for over 18 years. It's very gentle. It's a total cellular cleanse, and it's pure alkaline. And so it's just a great way to reset just 1 or 2 ounces of that. So there's different things that you can do to reset that pH. I mean, I've had some people that have had some real health challenges, and I had a lady 15 years ago. She goes, "Nancy, I really like having a margarita or a glass of wine every once in a while." I said, "That's fine, Tracy. Just go ahead and enjoy, and then have a little bit of your, cleanse for life, and just reset your pH to alkaline." I think God wants us to live, to have fun, food, fellowship, and enjoy life. But again, it's sometimes we have to make those hard choices too, Emmylou, for a season of life to get back to a place to where we want to be maintaining.
I totally agree. Now, you said apple cider vinegar. Now, it's my understanding that is acidic. So you would take that if you were getting too high on the alkaline end?
No, because in our body, the apple cider vinegar and the lemon becomes alkaline. It's one of
Oh,
those things that you can it is one of the ways to help reset your pH.
oh, wonderful. Okay, so that's good to know. It's not that we're eating foods that are alkaline if we're too acidic, or foods that are acidic if we're too. Okay, it's the
But you
the
need to know
lemon
that. Yep.
apple
Yep.
cider vinegar,
Yep. And then
and to reset that.
Mhm.
And you know, I totally agree. We may have a good heart and we want to serve others, but we can't if we're sick.
Yeah. It's true. And then that's why I love sending, and people can Google all this information. I mean, it's your fingertips. What are great ways that are alkaline foods? What are great, anti-inflammatory foods? What are great spices? All these different things, these practices, just like you said, having the right amount of water, good waters, good things, because we unfortunately are living in a combative zone. We're being bombarded every single day, our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. And now, this country, when you look back historically, back into the 80s and the 70s, and we've just been an experiment when it comes to food and manufacturers um, and now they're making fake foods and all this, and
Yeah.
no wonder our bodies are going, excuse me, I got so many digestive issues. And way back when they started making the new super gluten, the molecules were so big they couldn't go through our digestive system without causing havoc. And I would tease people, I'd say, you remember when bagels used to be little bagels and then they became fat Albert bagels? So, that was when the super gluten and all this was being put in, because it's all about, isn't it interesting, Emily, when you think about, what people are seeing and what people are hearing and the temptations, it always has to be better, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. Um, I think, people just need to know what is going to be good and healthy for their body, what's in what they're putting in our body. And it's the same for even taking supplements and things. We talk about, medications. They are a quick fix, they want to have a prescription for this, a prescription for that, and all these things. And they really don't give you the long-term effects of that.
I want to get to the prescription medication, but before I do that, you mentioned inflammation. That's really on my mind. That's significant. That was the commonality. In
Mhm.
every case, there is inflammation. So, and you mentioned some foods are more inflammatory than others. Is that
There
the
is,
key
and
right there?
there is, and I would love, I'll be happy to send a list to people, or they can just, find out. But looking at those things, looking at, salmon, looking at, blueberries, looking at all those different things that help with inflammation in your body, just think of it as calming the body down. Those
Mhm.
types of things to know about, um, and to be able to incorporate, and just, on a daily basis. Um, I think one of the things people have in their mindset, today's a brand new day. We are not guaranteed tomorrow. So we're going to do our very best today and God will do the rest. But, being mindful and being educated in knowing the things that we're doing to our bodies for not only today's benefit, but also for that long term. I think that's being a good steward, or working on being a good steward of what we've been entrusted with.
I totally agree with that, Nancy, and I believe strongly that God created our bodies to heal itself, created our body to heal itself, and I really am leery of prescription medications because I'm unaware of any prescribed medication, man-made, that doesn't have side effects. And quite often you're looking at the list of, does this malady I have that this prescription is supposed to help with, is it severe enough for me to risk these side effects?
Mhm. You're right. And then, or finding alternatives. I think people need to ask questions. So, what else would you suggest? What else would you recommend? What other tests have been done? Are there any other alternatives? And I think, because I was a researcher for the government, and I love being Sherlock Holmes and asking, and, those questions too, Emily, you know, okay, this is what you say, this is what you do. And, let's find out the things for myself too. An example. So years ago, I inherited natural high cholesterol. And so I went to the doctor and he said, your cholesterol's high. Here's, a medication you can take and, going to lower your cholesterol, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm looking at reading it and going through it. And I said, let me just do a little research and testing. So I started doing some things naturally. My cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, went down 70 points. And I went back and he said, well, if you quit taking that natural stuff, it'll go back up. And I looked at him, I said, well, if I quit taking your drug, it'll go back up. And I said, and I have a happier liver. And so, anyways, but asking, I think, questions and doing research. There is a time and place for medications. There are. I mean, the Hodgkin's my dad died of is now curable. The leukemia my brother died of is now curable. So there are certain things. There's things in other countries that are curing cancer. There's doing all kinds of great remedies and things. So I think asking questions, don't ever be afraid because it's your life, it's your responsibility, it's your temple, and you want to make sure you know what's going in and the long-term effects for it.
I, you know, I can definitely agree with that, that we need to take responsibility for our health. It's so much easy just, just give me a pill for this. Or what is that? There's a pill for every ill. I just want to take a pill. I don't want to take responsibility for my health and actually have to change what I'm doing or what I'm eating. But being willing to do whatever it takes to take good care of this wonderful body that God has given us. I like the way you use the term stewardship.
Yeah, it is. And if you think about it, are you eating to live or living to eat? And, we know that we have to put nourishment in our bodies every day, even though, fasting is really good to let your digestive system rest for a period of time. And just there's certain different things too that can help our bodies to, again, like you talked about, to heal yourself. You might want to let it have a cleansing time, very gentle, not, severe, but, going through those certain things to help our body to get refreshed and renewed. Shoot, we refresh and renew our houses, we refresh and renew all of our stuff. Why don't we do it for our precious bodies? And so I think that's another way to help us to get stronger and healthier from the inside out also.
Well, I also have, you mentioned the different cycles over time. This food is deemed bad. A few years later, no, wait, that one's okay, but watch out for this other one. And some nutritional advice I heard decades ago that has withstood the test of time is to eat a variety of foods as close to their natural state as possible. So, if, I've also heard it expressed, if God didn't make it, don't eat it. Or if man altered it. But
Yep.
just being aware of the quality of the food we eat. You also mentioned water and sleep. What have you learned about those?
Oh my goodness, water. Our body needs water, number one, and ionic minerals, number two. And you mentioned, the different things with the food and nature. And I agree with you, but you could also know where it's coming from, what it's being treated with, the pesticides, herbicides, all the different things, genetically modified. So knowing how to read some labels is really important too, Emily. And, having these things in food is nutritionally bankrupt in this day and time just because of money, because they want to keep it on the shelf longer. They don't want it to deteriorate. So you need to know that you probably, depends on where you live and where your source is, you probably need to have a good supplement for some things. Just because of the nutritional value has gone down. They said it takes like 25 bowls of spinach now, where it used to take, just equal to like 1 to 2. So knowing that information, and again, it's just knowledge and education. Sleep. Sleep is huge. It is the time when our bodies recover. It's the time for healing. It's the time for letting everything to just get reset again, letting those cortisol levels level back out, letting their body, our miracle bodies, do what they need to do. If people are waking up between 1 and 4, it's usually stress, and there's certain things you can do to combat it. And that's another huge one. Stress will make your body acidic big time. So you either can manage stress or it'll manage you. And you find those ways to naturally, again, combat it. as we go through life, Emily, you and I have never been this age and stage before. So we want to continually keep tweaking things to be able to know that, yes, we are doing our very best in what we're doing. But sleep is one of those things that some people go, oh, I do good with 5 hours of sleep or whatever. Usually, most people need a minimum of 7 to 8 hours, depending upon your metabolism and how you are functioning and what you're doing. So letting your body to de-stress, to just having that time to recover is huge. You got to build it back up again. I mean, if you and I thought about, okay, I'm just not going to do anything for the next several days. I'm not going to eat, sleep, drink water. I'm not going to do anything. By about that third day or so, our body's going to be talking to us and complaining and going, hello, did you forget something? So
Definitely, definitely. Um, I feel that when I wake in the morning feeling energized and excited for the day, that I've had a good night's sleep.
I agree. And I love waking up and I love having that time. I don't just jump out of bed because I usually wake up and then I have my time with the Lord. We just talk about things and just, um, starting that day out with gratitudes and, and when I put my feet on the floor, I go, yay, I'm back. What do we get to do today? I'm going to watch for my miracle. And so, but starting out the day, especially with gratitudes and ending the day with gratitudes is another huge healthy cells, happy, healthy cells. Because again, from your heart, when you have that love, joy, peace, when you have that spirit of serving and doing things for others without ulterior motive, what's in it for me, when you start your day out and go through your day with the attitude of, I really want to be bringing kindness and encouragement and uplifting other people. And when those tests and trials comes, because they definitely will, every single day we get to go through a new one. We could just decide how long we want to stay bent out of shape about it, or when we can be in our bless and release it. I think sometimes women, especially Emily, we think we got to do everything, everything, everything for everybody else, first and foremost, and then we get the leftovers. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's called self care. You've got to take care of yourself. For myself, it's my quiet time, it's exercise, it's my jet fuel nutrition, it's doing those things, that are my foundations. Everybody needs to discover their own foundations that make them start out with a solid step that they're going to be going into. Because again, we are going to go through those tests and trials. And when we talk about happy, healthy cells, that heart, that attitude, that mindset, everything affects it.
So we know that we have happy, healthy cells when our body is functioning properly. Would that be accurate?
It is. And just like, but I encourage you, especially women, go for your annual checkup. I went for mine in December, and my doctor, she was so funny, Emily. She goes, oh my gosh, you've got exquisite blood work, and you're healthier this year than you were last year. And I said, Dr. Newman, nobody has ever told me I have exquisite blood work. I said, but that's a good thing. I'll take it. And so, yes, we can't look inside of us, and go, what's going on? What's going on? So, again, you need to know, keep your records, keep your own files, keep your own lab reports, because that way you are mindful and you know what's going on the inside. And if there's something that could be a little bit of out of whack or whatever, then you can decide how you want to get it back into alignment.
Now, you mentioned supplements too. There are a plethora of supplements out there. How do you distinguish the ones that are more effective and the ones that aren't?
Okay. I really suggest that you make sure they're clinically studied. I mean, you can have supplements, you can have from all kinds of resources, all different places. They can have all kinds of fillers in them. They can have things. If you've got something that is third party tested and you've got some good information about, where the raw ingredients are coming from, they've been tested. Where are, after they've been formulated by, doctors and scientists overview, they've been tested. You want to make sure that you know where it comes, because you say you get what you pay for. Pretty much you get what you pay for, but you can be mindful and do a little bit of research. You can not have to, it's not just the most expensive that's always the best.
That's true. Now, don't you have a lot of this information on your website?
I do. And I love talking with people, Emily, to find out what they're doing for their healthy lifestyle and celebrating what they are already doing and what they want to accomplish. And then I love just making some suggestions that might benefit them in their self-care. But the most important thing is that knowing that, yes, you're in charge and that you do get to make those choices.
All right. So what is the name of your website? I know you have the QR code there. Point to the QR code.
The
It's
QR
right
code's
there.
right there. And it's the healthysaleschick.com. And so, again, it's just a matter of helping people just to become their very best and to live their healthiest life that they've got. Again, doesn't mean you don't go through your tests and trials and problems, but we want to see how fast we can get over it.
Yes, and that's the key. If you have your physical health, then you can handle when some stressful situation comes up, you're in a better position to handle it. Now, your show is on Wednesdays.
Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's in the evening, not the morning. And again, we talk about the healthy mind, body, and spirit. And I absolutely love having incredible guests like you and any other ladies and some people that are sewing into that healthy mind, body, and spirit. Because again, everything does affect our mind, our body, and our spirit.
And you've had some really interesting guests on your show. So they can visit that, and it's the same format. The show is half an hour, and then the last half hour is open for any live discussion. It's not recorded. So people can
Absolutely.
ask specific questions. They can go to your website.
Yep. And it's all there just to make it easy and simple.
And you mentioned this all is available. We can Google it, but we could also take advantage of the years of research you've done, like the Cliff Notes.
What was that book that they used to use in high school? Something for dummies? I know.
Oh, cells. Happy, healthy cells.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful. Um, it's good to be mindful of ourselves and be aware that we can just these common sense, being aware of what we're putting into our body, whether or not we're getting enough sleep, which is really challenging for mothers. And yet we can't pour from an empty cup.
No. And you know what? You learn how to do, like when you talk about exercising, they say 30 minutes, 5 times a week can increase your longevity by 5 years. Mothers, you can exercise with your kids. You can do some things. When they take a little nap, you can take a little nap. It'll get done, believe me.
Take them for a walk, take them to the park.
Yep.
Yes, and make it a family. I also think the best heritage you're giving your children is that example.
Mm.
I remember watching my mother exercise, and she was explaining to me why she was doing it and why she was fixing the food she did. And it was, it had a big influence on me. It made me think I need to take care of my body.
Great mother.
Yeah, she was. She was. Nancy, thank you so much for joining me. I love what you do. I thank you for sharing it. Make sure you check out her website, healthysaleschick.com, or scan the QR code and visit her show Wednesday evenings. Did you say 7 p.m. Eastern?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. And for my viewers, join me again next week at the same time. Until then, love yourself, love your family. Let's make the world a better place by strengthening families. This is Emmylou Penrod with HealingYourFamilies.com.